Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about something that many of us worry about. What if people laugh at me? This fear affects almost everyone at some point in their lives, especially when learning a new language like English. When we worry too much about making mistakes or looking foolish, it can stop us from trying new things and growing as a person. In this lesson, we'll explore why we fear being laughed at, how this fear affects our lives, and most importantly, how to overcome it. We'll also share some real-life examples and practical tips to help you feel more confident in situations where you might worry about being judged by others. Part 1. Understanding the fear. Why do we fear being laughed at? It's completely natural to worry about what others think of us. Humans are social creatures, and throughout history, being accepted by our community was essential for survival. Even today, this instinct remains strong within us. When learning English, this fear can be particularly strong. You might worry, what if I pronounce this word incorrectly? What if I use the wrong grammar and everyone notices? What if my accent sounds strange to native speakers? Let's meet Sarah, who experiences this fear when speaking English at her new job. Example 1. Sarah's story. Sarah recently moved to Canada from Brazil. She studied English for years and can read and write well, but she still feels nervous when speaking. At her new office job, she needs to participate in team meetings. Every time she wants to share an idea, a voice in her head says, "What if they laugh at my accent? What if I make a grammar mistake and look unprofessional?" One day, her manager asked her opinion during a meeting. Sarah's heart raced. Her palms got sweaty, and she gave only a very short answer, even though she had many good ideas to share. Afterward, she felt disappointed in herself. Her fear of being laughed at prevented her from showing her true abilities. The impact of this fear. When we constantly worry about being laughed at, several things happen. 1. We avoid situations where we might be judged. 2. We speak less and participate less in conversations. 3. We miss opportunities to practice and improve. 4. We don't share our valuable ideas and perspectives. 5. We feel more stressed and less confident over time. Ultimately, this fear can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. By avoiding situations where we might make mistakes, we don't get the practice we need to improve. This creates a negative cycle that's difficult to break. Part 2. The reality of making mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. Here's an important truth. Everyone makes mistakes, even native speakers. Think about it. Have you ever stumbled over your words when speaking your native language? Have you ever forgotten a word or said something incorrectly? Of course, it happens to everyone. When we learn a new language, mistakes aren't just common. They're necessary. They're how we learn and improve. Every successful English speaker has made thousands of mistakes on their journey to fluency. Example 2. Famous mistakes. Even famous and powerful people make language mistakes. Former U.S. President George W. Bush was known for his verbal slip-ups, which people called Bushisms. Once he said, "They misunderestimated me," combining misunderstood and underestimated. Even though he was a native English speaker and the President of the United States, he still made mistakes when speaking publicly. Another example is Arnold Schwarzenegger, who became a famous actor and politician despite having a strong accent when speaking English. Instead of hiding his accent, he embraced it, and it became part of his identity. His famous line, "I'll be back," is one of the most recognized movie quotes of all time, accent and all. How people actually react to mistakes. Now, let's talk about how people typically react when someone makes a mistake while speaking English. 1. Most people don't even notice small mistakes. 2. Those who do notice often understand you're learning. 3. Many people respect the courage it takes to speak a second language. 4. Native speakers make plenty of mistakes too. 5. In most cases, people care more about what you're saying than how perfectly you're saying it. Example 3. Carlos in the coffee shop. Carlos, an English learner from Mexico, was ordering coffee at a busy cafe. He wanted to order a medium coffee with milk, but he couldn't remember the word medium. After hesitating, he pointed to the cup and said, "I want not small, not big. The middle one? With cow milk, please." He felt embarrassed about not knowing the word medium, but the barista simply smiled and said, "One medium coffee with milk coming right up." The interaction was quick and friendly. Carlos realized that the barista was focused on taking his order correctly, not judging his English skills. Later that day, Carlos overheard a native English speaker order a mocha, but pronounce it as mocha. The barista politely corrected them, and everyone moved on. That's when Carlos realized that even native speakers sometimes mispronounce words, and it's not a big deal. Part 3. Changing your mindset. From fixed mindset to growth mindset. One of the most important steps in overcoming the fear of being laughed at is changing how you think about mistakes. Psychologists often talk about two types of mindsets. 1. Fixed mindset. Believing your abilities are fixed traits that cannot change. With this mindset, mistakes feel threatening because they seem to expose your limitations. 2. Growth mindset. Believing your abilities can develop through dedication and hard work. With this mindset, mistakes are valuable learning opportunities. By adopting a growth mindset, you can start to see language mistakes not as embarrassing failures, but as essential steps on your learning journey. Reframing your thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, "What if they laugh at me?" Try reframing that thought instead of, "If I make a mistake, people will think I'm stupid." Try thinking, "If I make a mistake, I'll learn something new, and most people will respect my effort." Instead of, "I should only speak when I'm sure I won't make any errors." Try thinking, "The only way to improve is to practice, even when it's not perfect." Instead of, "That person laughed when I spoke. They must be laughing at my English." Try thinking, "People laugh for many reasons. Maybe they found something genuinely funny about the situation, not my language skills." Part 4. Practical strategies for building confidence. Start small and build up. Building confidence is like building muscle. It requires regular exercise, starting with lighter weights before moving to heavier ones. Example 4. Wei's method. Wei from China wanted to improve his English speaking confidence. Instead of immediately trying to speak in large group settings, he created a plan. Week 1. Practice ordering food in English at restaurants. Week 2. Have a short conversation with the cashier at the grocery store. Week 3. Ask a question to a classmate before class begins. Week 4. Share one idea during group discussions. Week 5. Volunteer to present a small part of a group project. By starting with brief, low-pressure interactions and gradually taking on more challenging situations, Wei built his confidence step by step. After 6 months, he was comfortable participating in class debates and even joined the university's public speaking club. Prepare, but don't memorize. Preparation can help reduce anxiety, but trying to memorize exactly what you'll say often backfires. When you memorize, you might panic if the conversation takes an unexpected turn. Instead, try these approaches. 1. Prepare key vocabulary. Make a list of important words and phrases you might need for a specific situation. 2. Practice common questions. Think about questions you're likely to be asked and practice answering them in different ways. 3. Have backup phrases. Learn phrases like, "Could you please repeat that?" Or, "I'm not sure how to explain this, but I'll try to use when you get stuck." Example 5. Aisha's job interview. Aisha had a job interview in English and was very nervous about making mistakes. Instead of trying to memorize perfect answers to every possible question, she researched the company and industry to learn relevant vocabulary, practiced describing her experience and skills in different ways, prepared a few stories about her previous work that demonstrated her abilities. Learned phrases like, "That's an interesting question. Let me think about that for a moment." During the interview, she didn't speak perfectly, but she communicated effectively. When she couldn't think of the exact word she wanted, she explained the concept in simpler terms. The interviewers appreciated her knowledge and preparation, and she got the job despite making a few grammar mistakes. Create a supportive environment. Surrounding yourself with supportive people can make a huge difference in building your confidence. Consider joining a language exchange group, finding a study partner who is also learning English, working with a tutor who creates a positive learning environment, participating in activities where you share interests with English speakers, creating connections beyond just language. Example 6. The Language Cafe. Fatima joined a language cafe that met every Thursday evening at a local community center. There, language learners practiced speaking in a relaxed environment. The group had one important rule: no correcting others unless they specifically asked for help. In this supportive environment, Fatima gradually became more comfortable speaking English. When she made mistakes, no one laughed or judged her. Sometimes others didn't understand her, but they would simply ask clarifying questions, and the conversation continued. After attending for several months, Fatima not only improved her English, but also made friends from around the world. These friendships gave her more opportunities to practice English in natural, enjoyable settings. Part 5. When people actually do laugh. Different types of laughter. It's important to understand that not all laughter is mockery. When someone laughs during a conversation, it could be 1. Laughing with you, not at you. 2. Laughing at the situation, not your language skills. 3. Laughing because they're nervous or trying to be friendly. 4. Laughing at a cultural misunderstanding that's genuinely funny. 5. Laughing in appreciation of your effort or honesty. How to respond to laughter. If someone does laugh when you're speaking English, here are some healthy ways to respond. Join in the laughter. If you make a funny mistake, laugh along. This shows confidence and good humor. Ask politely. "I'm still learning English. Could you tell me what was incorrect about what I said?" Use humor. "Well, I meant to say that, but my tongue had different plans." Remember your value. Your worth isn't determined by how perfectly you speak English. You have valuable ideas, experiences, and perspectives to share. Example 7. Yuki's presentation. Yuki from Japan was giving a presentation to her colleagues. She meant to say that the team had faced a unique challenge, but she pronounced unique incorrectly, making it sound like unique challenge. Several colleagues laughed. At first, Yuki felt embarrassed, but then she paused and said with a smile, "I think I didn't pronounce that correctly. Can someone help me with the right pronunciation?" A colleague kindly demonstrated the correct pronunciation. Yuki repeated it, thanked them, and continued her presentation. Later, one of the colleagues who had laughed approached her and said, "Your presentation was excellent. I'm trying to learn Japanese and I make mistakes all the time. I really respect how you handled that moment." Conclusion: the freedom of not worrying. When you stop worrying so much about what if they laugh, something wonderful happens. You speak more freely and naturally. Focus on communication rather than perfection. Notice and learn from your mistakes without feeling bad about them. Connect more authentically with others. Actually improve faster because you practice more. Remember that learning a language is a journey, not a destination. Every successful English speaker was once a beginner who made mistakes. The difference between those who achieve fluency and those who don't isn't talent. It's persistence and courage. The next time you think, "What if they laugh?" remind yourself, even if they do laugh, it's not the end of the world. Making mistakes is how we learn and grow. Your willingness to try despite imperfection is something to be proud of. Most people respect and admire those who are learning a new language. So take a deep breath, step outside your comfort zone, and let yourself speak English without fear. Your future fluent self will thank you for your courage today.